What's up YouTube, it's TF Collector, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Studios Series number 40, Deluxe Class Shatter from the Bumblebee movie. And before we take a look at the figure itself, we are of course going to take a look at the packaging that she does come packaged in. So you can see on the front here, nice picture of Shatter. She is 40 of Studio Series, her name is Shatter, Bumblebee, 8 and up, Hasbro, Transformers down the side, Generations, and Takara logos there on this side. Nice profile shot of Shatter. She is 40 of Studio Series, Deluxe Class. On the other side, another nice image of Shatter, an Autobot logo there, an authentic logo there on the back of the packaging. She is big screen inspired from the Bumblebee movie. Her name is Shatter. From the Decepticon arrival scene, you have some nice pictures of Shatter going on right there. This is a licensed Chrysler Plymouth product. 23 steps right there, and you have a nice bio. Arriving on Earth in 1987, Shatter disguises herself as a 1971 Plymouth GTX and begins her search for Autobot criminals. Build the cast. We also have Scrap Metal and Cogman. Video for Cogman is on the channel. Scrap Metal will be next in this road through the Studio Series. Backdrop included, Hasbro there on the bottom, of barcode on the top, Bumblebee. And one last thing to take a look at before we look at the figure herself. She does, of course, include her instruction manual for the Studio Series Shatter. Bumblebee, there is Shatter. Deluxe Class Transformers Generations 8 and up on the back. Chrysler, Takara, Tomy, and Hasbro. And now moving to the figure herself, here is Shatter as the Plymouth GTX that she appears as in the Bumblebee movie. And yeah, this figure is not my favorite, but I will say the alt mode is the stronger of the two modes. So coming in close here, you can see nice silver going on the front here with all the lights picked out. Nice little piece there picked out in silver on the top. You have the engine and whatnot going on up top. Some nice lights across the top here and some nice caging all around. You have nice translucent plastic used for the windshields and windows. Nice strip of silver down the side and some nice red painting all throughout. The wheels, unfortunately, not painted, just done in all black and don't look that great, but I mean, overall, I think it looks pretty good. 722 there on the side. From the back angle, you do have some red bits and some more silver going on, so it looks pretty nice. And there is the other side. There's the top. There's the bottom. She does, of course, roll. Even though she does not have pinned-on wheels, she does still roll pretty fluidly, and overall, that is a good-looking alt mode. And when it comes to accessories, Shatter comes with 2 of the same weapon. She comes with 2 of these little black blasters, and as you can see, they are nicely detailed. You have some nice details going on there. Not much paint, just in the black, but they are detailed pretty nicely, and these do store. You can just come under here, and you can pull the arm out, and you will see you have a nice little port there, and you will just use the post there on the guns and just post that right in, and then you press that up and you can see it lays pretty flush. Well, it's supposed to anyways, so that she will still roll. And you can do the same with the other one on the other side. Just bring the arm down and we can just tab that right on there, slot that back up in there, and just have that like that. And she does still roll nice and fluently, so that is some good weapon storage in my opinion. And for some quick alt mode comparisons with Shatter, first here she is with Studio Series 18 Bumblebee. So you can see how she looks with Bumblebee. And you can see longer than Bumblebee, as she should be. I think those two scale pretty well together. And here she is with her Decepticon mate, Studio Series 22 Helicopter Dropkick. So you can see how these two scale together. Obviously not exactly scale accurate, but you can see just how these two look together, both deluxe classes. Overall, some pretty good looking scaling going on here. So that's about all I have to say for the alt mode, and I've been as positive as I can be about this alt mode. I do actually like the way the alt mode looks. This is the way I display her on my shelving, but as you will see, the rest of this video is going to go downhill because this transformation is brutal and the robot mode is lacking. But we're going to go ahead and transform Shatter. Now you can just leave these attached on here to do this, so that's how I'm going to do it. And we're going to get started. Please bear with me. This is probably my least favorite Studio Series figure to transform. That is a lot of figures to choose from, which should tell you just how terrible this is. But first thing you're going to want to do is just undo that like so. You can see it kind of just tabs in right there, so you kind of got to get your nails up in there and just pull it out. And once we get started, you're going to see what I'm talking about. There's just pieces that just don't want to, and there it goes. These pieces always pop off on mine along with the arm. They just always pop off, so you're just gonna have to bear with me because these are going to drive me insane throughout this transformation. I'm actually just going to sit this one off to the side for now. That one will probably pop off eventually, and we will sit it off to the side when it does so. But now what we can do is, if they haven't already done it, you want to untab these little red pieces. You can see they've already untabbed on mine, but they just tab in right there. And now what we can do is just start. And now that you've gotten to witness my frustrations firsthand, we're going to come to the back here and untab the legs. You can see there are just little tabs that go back in there. So just untab that. And now what we can do is undo this whole section. This piece should come with it. And there went that one. We're just going to sit that off to the side. You can see what I'm talking about. This is going downhill. But this is on a double hinge, so we're just going to hinge it forward. Make sure you get the legs around it. You don't want to get anything caught up. And now what you're going to do is just fold this piece under, fold that piece under, and fold this piece over. And that will be her backpack right there. So you can see how everything is starting to shape up. So come down here, just push this piece up and get it out of the way a little. And now what we can do, hopefully, is extend her arms out to the side. Do the same thing on this one. Just extend it out to the side and get that out of the way. You can see how those ball joints should look after that is done. And now what we can do is make sure everything is out of the way back here. Just get that hinged up, and we can work on the legs. So just get this piece up and out of the way. You're going to want to untab the leg like so. Just bring that down and out of the way, and you're going to want it to rotate 180 degrees at the knee like so. Then come back here, untab the wheel from the foot, and you can bring the foot down, and then the wheel will hinge around and go into the shin like so, or the calf rather. So you want that looking like that. And she does have the chicken leg look, so you can just chicken leg her knee joint like that if you want to do so. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So just untab that, bring that down, rotate 180, make sure you get everything out of the way. Come back here, untab the wheel from the foot, extend the foot, rotate the wheel 180 degrees, push it back into the calf, give her the chicken leg look, and there you have the lower legs all done. Now to finish up the thigh and upper legs, basically all we're going to do is take these pieces and push them to the back. So just come around to this one. You can get the arm up and out of the way. Just take this piece and push it around to the back, and that is how you want her legs to look. And now you are done with the legs. So now what we need to do is come to this section, and basically we need to bring this section down, but we also need the panel that the head is on to rotate around. So you just want to start pushing back because you want it to go back. It rotates that way. But this piece right here gets in the way on my copy all the time. I think I'm going to break it any day now. Whether that is on purpose or on accident, I will not reveal. But you basically want that to rotate around like it just did as you're bringing this panel down. And just click that into place and bring that panel down the rest of the way. Then you can bring this silver piece up and tab that over top of the chest like so. So that actually worked better than it usually does. Now just rotate this red piece around so that is facing out like that. And then you can just bring it over top of the shoulder like so. And then rotate at the elbow like so to orient the arm properly. Now what we can do is come back here to the back. And if it hasn't done that already, you just want to tab that piece in right there, like so. And now what we can do is grab her arm that decided it wanted to fling off earlier. I'm going to go ahead and rotate that red piece around, and we're going to put it back on the the ball joint like it should be. Rotate the arm forward, bring this piece back around like so, and then rotate the head 180. And of course, we are not done yet because we had two other pieces that decided they wanted to fall off mid-transformation, and that, of course, is these two pieces. So basically, these are supposed to just be barely just tabbed right there. You can see they just come off very easily because someone didn't really think that through, but you just push them down like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Just put it back where it belongs. That one stays in a little better, and push it down like so. And after an absolutely torturous, and I'm glad that it showed the torture during the review because that really just emphasizes my point. After the torturous transformation, there is Shatter in a very, very non-movie accurate and very poor looking robot mode. And yeah, I would say I hate to hate it, but honestly, I don't. This figure deserves to be hated. This robot mode is not accurate at all, and as you saw, that transformation is atrocious. But coming in on the very, what is that, face sculpt? Well, you can see it's just a big old red block with a little bit of silver on the mouth. She does have the antenna, at least. That's accurate to the movie. Now, I know people in the comments are going to go, oh, but there's a 0.12 second scene in the Bumblebee movie where she has a mask on. Yeah, okay, sure, but this is not how we saw her in the movie. That's not what she looked like. I know maybe they based it off CG art, which is a problem that I feel like Hasbro needs to fix a little bit because they seem to do that pretty often when movies first come out. Maybe they should collaborate with the studios a little bit more. They're involved in making the movies. Not anymore, but they have been in the past. But that's another rant. But very non-movie accurate head sculpt. Just moving down the body. At least the chest kind of looks accurate with this silver piece over top. I mean, it is nicely painted on the legs and on the shins. And the chest area, it's nice gunmetal gray. I mean, the arms, nice gunmetal gray. It's a shame that they actually painted the figure that sucks. But you can see if we turn around, she does have a massive backpack going on there. But overall, this is not my cup of tea. And the fun does not end. Let's go over the articulation. The head is on a ball joint. It can look up pretty high and down pretty well. And it can rotate 180. That is 360 degrees. See, this figure is causing me to lose brain cells. But the arms can do a 360. They can move in and out. They are, of course, on the ball joint, as you've seen throughout the review, because it pops off all the time. You have rotation right above the elbow, and on the elbow itself, you have a little bit under 90 degrees of movement. Nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist. The legs can go forward pretty high. She can totally kick someone in the face. Back, not happening. Outward, not happening. You have rotation above the knee. You do have a double jointed knee. You have a joint here and a joint here, so you can do whatever you want with that. Me personally, I just chicken leg her. And down here you have double jointed ankle, so you can boots and cats on the ankle, but you can get some up and down movement. No pivoting, no rotating. Overall, just this articulation just speaks even further to the atrocity of this figure. And when it comes to her accessories, they are already on her. They do not store, but you can totally untab them and have her holding them instead of having them tabbed on the side of the arm. If you want, that's a thing that you can do. That's an option that you have. But me personally, I don't even display her in robot mode. But if I did, I would have them tabbed on the side of her arms like that. Please stand. And for some quick robot mode comparisons here with Shatter. First, here she is with Studio Series 22 Deluxe Dropkick, so you can see how she looks with her fellow Decepticon member from the Bumblebee movie, and I will say this looks terrible. They both are super non-movie accurate and not good figures. Thank the Lord that they have both had significantly better remakes of themselves as of the recording of this video. But here she also is with Studio Series 18 Deluxe Bumblebee, and once again they're both non-movie accurate. Thank the Lord they have both had significantly English better remakes since they first came out. But you can see there she is with Bumblebee. And last but not least, just so you can see the true atrocity, here she is with a CG model of how she appeared in the Bumblebee movie. So you can see when I say non-movie accurate, exactly what I'm talking about. And last but certainly not least, moving Shatter out of the way, she does of course come with the sadly now discontinued display base that these Studio Series figures used to come with. You can see for the Studio Series Bumblebee Transformers, you have the scene where her and Dropkick land on Earth, and you can plop her down right there. And I will admit that does make for a pretty awesome display option if you have the space in your collection to use it. So that is my review for Studio Series number 40 Deluxe Class Shatter. And overall, this figure sucks. I'm going to flat out say it. This figure is terrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I've got this figure because at the time it was the only Shatter that had released that was part of the Studio Series line, and it has a decent looking alt mode. I displayed her in robot mode back when she was the only version I had, but when they came out with the later version, the later Studio Series Shatter, it blew this one out of the water. So now this figure officially just sits in alt mode on my shelf all the time, which I must admit, at least the alt mode turned out good. The alt mode looks beautiful. I have no complaints about the alt mode. My only complaints are with the transformation, the robot mode, the articulation, all of that good stuff. The robot mode is super non-accurate. She can't articulate well at all, and the transformation is atrocious. I hate doing it. As you saw during this video in the review, stuff just pops off, flings off, goes everywhere. I cannot stand this transformation. It is my least favorite transformation to do of any figure in the entire Studio Series line. And that should tell you something because there's over 100 figures. But that's the end of my rant on this Studio Series 40 Shatter. If I had to rate her, at least the alt mode is good, but everything else is terrible, which means she's 1 for 4, so I should give her a 2.5, but I'll be nice. She can have a 3 out of 10. This figure gets a 3 out of 10. She has the backdrop, so she can have the 3. 3 out of 10 for Shatter. I would recommend this to no one unless you are a precise collector. I just already happened to get my hands on it because she was the only Shatter that was out at the time. But now you have plenty of better options. You have the Metagate version. You have the later Studio Series version. Do not get this figure. You don't need it. You don't want it. It's terrible. It sucks. 3 out of 10. Don't get it. That's the end of my rant. That's my review. Studio Series 40 Shatter. She gets a 3 out of 10. We will be back soon with 41 Scrap Metal. I will be on vacation next week, so there might only be 1 video. I'll try to get 2 in there, but we'll see. But that's all I got to say for now. Don't forget, never sacrifice the things you love for the approval of others. I'll see you all with Scrap Metal very soon. And until then, roll out. Peace.